Now, firstly, yes, it's Azure DevOps, but even before we get into Azure DevOps, we'll need to see what is really cloud computing, because we're all here for, so it says, you know what, simply put, and etc., stuff like that. But the main idea is delivery of services or delivery of infrastructure over the internet. What exactly this means, really? I mean, even before we appreciate or understand the concept of cloud computing, let's see what was life before cloud computing. So this is like, my mini drawing board where I kind of, try to explain things out. So just imagine that anyone from this class is, let's say, has an idea to develop an application. Okay, what kind of an application is it? For simplicity, let's take it is a self-booking cab application like Ola. So you have an idea, you have a development team who's ready to develop the application for you, and you basically have hired the development team basically. But what is the missing piece of the puzzle out here? Now, what really you need apart from a development team and apart from an idea, you need something called as a server. Now, for ease, or for basically for ease of understanding, what exactly is a server? It's nothing but a huge machine like your computer, but magnified into 10,000 times of what your computer size is. Meaning it has some kind of physical infrastructure like a RAM, like a hard drive, like everything that you see on your computer apart from a screen. So you need this particular service so that your application can be hosted over the internet. So server is that particular device or that particular piece of machinery which will help you take your application from a point A, that is, let's say, your server, to, let's say, a point B, which is the internet, where it can be widely accessible. Now, this seems good, right? I mean, this is good. As such, you can buy a server, you can install the server, you can go ahead, host your application out there, and people can come visit your application and you can generate a revenue, which is a good model. But it's not as simple or as easy as this appears out here. Why isn't it easy, if you ask me? First thing, even before your idea takes a shape, or even before you hire a development team, the first thing you've got to do is purchase a server. Now, is our servers, uh, I mean, affordable? Not really. You need to basically place an order at least 60 to 90 days in advance, and your order needs to be shipped from a country like United States, because that was the country which was really manufacturing a lot of servers back in the day, and you only had a few manufacturers of these servers. So of course, the time or the wait period is a lot. And where do you need to really store your server? How do you need to really store your server? That is the second question, for which you need something called as a infrastructure, or something called as a data center. What am I using? A technical word called data center, meaning it's a place where you store your servers, and these data centers need to be maintained properly. What do I mean by maintenance? Meaning these servers can get really hot. You need maintenance engineers to make sure that the servers are up and running all the time, they're performing all the time, they're available for you all the time. This is one of the complications. Okay, fine. Now you have bought your server, you put it in a maintenance room, you're good, you're rich, you're okay to go ahead and spend money. That is super enough. So fine, you've done that. Second thing, now your team comes in and says, you know what, we see a lot of users actually coming to your application, which is a good reason. Our application initially was designed to, let's say, accommodate 1,000 people. Like 1,000 people can come at one time, visit your application at that particular second, book a cab, book a cab, and go into that cab, and everything's good. But what if your application now hits 10,000 people instead of 1,000 people? What if that happens? Your application will experience something called as a downtime. Uh, Guys, can all of y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, great. Because I just got a message telling that someone couldn't hear me. So whoever it is, Venu, can you please go ahead and disconnect your audio and connect back again so that you can hear us? Okay, thank you. So that's where we are. So the development team comes now and tells you that, you know what, hey, they're not 1,000 people, they're like 10,000 people that are visiting our application daily. Now my main concern is, can my infrastructure support so many people? Because the infrastructure that I bought was only to support 1,000 people, not 10,000 users. So what do I need to do now? I need to make sure that my infrastructure is scaled. What I mean by scaled is nothing but adding power, adding more CPU, adding more RAM to my infrastructure, or adding more RAM to my already existing server. Now, what do I need to do again? I need to again basically visit my manufacturer, ask him, you know what, can you please go ahead and give me the server back again, or give me some more space back again, place an order. Again, it would take somewhere around 60 to 90 days for the order to come in, and then install that one and then make your application ready. So I am looking at a wait period of somewhere from 6 to 8 months every time there is a bump in the number of users, or every time there are number of users that are increasing. Now this is the issue. Then is this a profitable business model? Not really. And that's the reason before the inception of cloud, or before the origin of cloud, you did not see a lot of startup culture that was there, which is we are enjoying today. So this guy out here is facing this particular issues. One, he's spending too much of money than he's allocated on maintenance of these servers. Second, his servers are not widely available. What do I mean by wide availability? If let's say this application is designed for a user in India, and I'm placing this server in somewhere in India, I'm okay because the users in India are using this, and so the downtime, or so the load on the server is less. But let's say I want to publish my application globally, meaning I want to take my business to the next level and go to a different country and also start the business there. I need to do the same thing even in that country as well. I need to basically buy servers, put it in there, and etc. Just in case if I have to close my business, what do I need to do with so much amount of capital expenditure? Where do I sell it out? That was the most biggest problem, which is called an exit problem out there. Secondly, scalability. As we spoke, you cannot easily scale these servers, meaning you cannot easily add more RAM, more power to these servers. Finally, time to market. What do I mean by time to market? From the time your application is being developed till the time your application is actually being given to the end user, it is taking about 6 to 8 months. And in that 6 to 8 months, you do not even know whether your application is going to be a hit, or your application is not even going to touch the market. This is one of the biggest things, or this is one of, let's say, the biggest reasons out there that this business model was not doing okay. Then what really happened? Let's say back in the 1994s and etc., companies like Amazon, companies like Microsoft, and companies like Google, they identified that this model is not really working out fine. We need to do something more innovative. I mean, why does a customer who's like just starting, or why does, let's say, a user who's just starting up his business need to invest so many dollars or so many millions on a piece of server? Let's not do that. Let's buy these servers. Meaning, now the companies like Amazon, Google, and Microsoft would go ahead, buy these servers, put them in a data center, and deliver these servers or rent out these servers over the internet. Then what really happened? My business model kind of changed from this to this. All I needed was just a laptop which had a good connection to the internet. And this basically that you're seeing on my right hand side is the cloud. It's nothing but a data center that is like, you know, arranged out there. And these services are just delivered to me over the cloud. And all I can do right now is just buy the server, or just rent the server, use the service, and just pay for that particular service. And believe me, guys, there were businesses whom I know, started with like about 1000 rupees of capital expenditure, and they kicked off at a very high level. That's the reason today we are seeing a lot of startup cultures, because you do not have to do a lot of investment into a business today in buying a physical infrastructure. So this was, or rather this is what the power of cloud, what you are enjoying today. So guys, any